Ah, um, Probably when I was about three. Um, where I think most kids were busy sort of playing around with toys and learning how to read. I was drawing pyramids. So I think everybody has some calling in life that's hardwired into them. And I think that when I look back in life, that probably was when I recognized that obviously my attention span was on something very, very different. And the calling really came in bits and pieces throughout my life. I mean, I went off into the material world of graphic design, photography, advertising, and it was fun, but it wasn't really sort of something that my heart was in deep down. So every once in a while, we get chances to actually leave work, or you get laid off or something, and it's those moments where I suddenly had the time and the chance to really look at what made my heart sing. And that's when I sort of started investigating things like the origin of pyramids. I'd had all these books sitting around for years, and I never had a chance to read. And I was able just to sit down on a sofa for a few days and just get into the rhythm of that knowledge, and it really woke up something inside. And this would happen gradually from year to year. And by about when I was about 36, sometime around the late 90s, that's when really things began to take off, because I realized that that's where my heart was. It was all about understanding why temples exist, how old they are, who put them there, for what purpose. And I just found that the doors began to open. And as the doors began to increase, and new ideas, new books start coming into my field of vision, and new experiences as I travel around the world, that's where it really just took off. It's almost like a drug. The more you get into it, the more you discover, and the more you want to know, and the whole thing just perpetuates itself. The origin of temples, which is the basis of the new book, goes back into a race of people that were very much human. They just had to be a lot bigger than us, and they are often talked about in the pyramid texts of Egypt as the Aku Shemsu Hor, which means the followers of Horus, the shining ones, and they appear under different guises throughout Tamil scriptures, in the Bible, in many ancient cultures, and even in the Egyptian text they're described as being 9 cubits tall, which puts them in the realm of 15 feet. And they were claimed to have been the descendants of the creator gods who originally had created the temple building culture around the world before a massive flood devastated the whole world in 9700 BC. And these tall beings, there is many evidence behind them. For example, in Britain, where I spent most of my life, there are still giant graves to this day that mark the actual location of the burials, the sites, and there are images from 1896 that clearly show not just the skeletons of very tall beings buried there, but also the fact that the meat is still on the bone. So they're not a figment of the imagination. This whole race of beings did coexist with human beings going back as far as 15,000 BC. And to bring the whole story forward to today, we find the crop circles being built exactly on the same principles as a pyramid, same principles as a Stonehenge or any sacred site. It's just that they happen to be made in serial crop. So there was a very profound woman who lives in Britain, a very renowned psychic, who even the police sort of come by and ask her to help them with their inquiries. And she has a near 100% rate of correctness in her predictions and solving crimes. And one of the things that she predicted back in the early 80s, before the modern era crop circles began to develop, was that there was a group of tall beings who existed in the ethereal world, in other words, in another level of reality, who we often called as guardian angels in our mythology, who in 7 days would be showing signs of their involvement in connecting the development of humanity, and also to helping humanity evolve in its next leap of evolution. And these would be geometric symbols that would be appearing at this hill called the Hill of Light in southern Britain, which of course is Silbury Hill. It's a tall conical mound that still exists to this day. And she had no idea what the hell they were talking about. And remember, she's in trance. So 7 days later, she decides to go there with a colleague of mine and actually see what on earth this communication was all about. What was these geometric shapes that were going to be manifesting at the base of the Hill of Light, that would be changing the consciousness and aiding the evolution of humanity. And sure enough, that's where the first group of crop circles firstly appeared. And that's when we realized that the crop circles were intimately linked with a group of beings who are very real in their level of reality as we are on ours, except that we can only perceive them as balls of light or orbs, or even just sort of wisps of energy. And we can even feel them, when that sort of tingle goes up your spine, that chill goes up your spine. So those are the same beings that were once here in physical form, and they go by the same names as Watchers or Tall Ones.